Yay, the kids are finally asleep.
So do you feel like...
Playing a game?
I've got a feeling a boss fight's coming up.
Ooh, I just got wrecked.
Headshot, baby.
Ooh, it's your turn to get the baby.
So are you up to the challenge?
Run, 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 run.
And we're dead.
That's when I realized I have no idea what I'm doing.
GG. Welcome back to the KJ After Dark Gamer Parents Podcast. My name is Kevin and I'm joined by my wonderful wife, Joanne.
Hey everyone. So Kevin and we're married. We have 2 kids and we both love to game. Just wanting to give a recap of last week. We actually streamed Embr, EMBR, on YouTube, and you can check out our KJ After Dark YouTube channel and see how the game goes, and we'll get into that a bit more in detail after this.
Well, before we get into talking about the game Embr, maybe just a brief recap of how the stream this last week went. Do you want to share about that?
Oh yeah, it was yeah.
So as a disclaimer, I think Joanne's mentioned this a few times before, but she can sometimes suffer from kinds of motion sickness, and occasionally there'll be games that do this kind of stuff to her too. So I think this is kind of one of those games where that might happen, or that seemed to have happened.
Yeah. Apologies. It's a very short stream. It was just like 30 minutes, I think, or maybe less.
You stuck it out for 30 minutes and ended up not feeling very well at the end there. So props to you for making it that far.
And it was on a full stomach too, like a super full stomach, like after Chipotle kind of burrito bowl dinner. So probably not the best game to play after. I think we can talk more about the game later, but I just feel like it was one of those games that would give me sensory overload.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But anyways, long story short, we'll talk about it more later. But stream was cut a little bit short. I still enjoyed the 30 minutes. I didn't really know until the end there that Joanne was having a hard time with it. So yeah, it was cut a little bit shorter than our normal streams. But anyways, those do happen every Tuesday night at 9:30 Central on the YouTube channel, KJ After Dark. So if that sounds like a good time to you, come check us out then.
Yep.
And in addition to the YouTube channel, we also have our Twitter, which is at KJ After Dark, and Instagram, which is at KJ_After_Dark. A little bit different.
Yes.
And also available the podcast episodes on every streaming platform. So pick your favorite and listen to us there. And if you're watching on Apple Podcasts, be sure to throw a rating and review our way. That would be awesome.
Yep, please do. And we just started this last week, but we've decided to read out the reviews that are being posted on Apple Podcasts or YouTube.
Yeah, wherever. If anybody leaves us any kind of review, we'd be ecstatic to read it, whether that's good or bad review, just to make sure that your feedback is heard.
Exactly. So what else happened last week? Oh, I just want to share. I know this past 3 weeks I've been talking about cooking the World of Warcraft recipes from the WoW cookbook. And just this week I have reached one of the milestones of 30 recipes from that cookbook. So I'm just proud of that. And it's 30 different recipes. And I've cooked like one recipe more than once. So
that's an awesome milestone, especially... I mean, this is just from that one World of Warcraft cookbook. I don't think I have ever cooked 30 different things in my life. So to me, that's really impressive.
So I'm just excited. Do check them out. The pictures are posted on Instagram at KJ_After_Dark, as Kevin mentioned before. And do give it a like. The food tastes as good as it looks.
Yeah, y'all, you can see the pictures on Instagram, but I'm sorry you don't get to taste it like I do. And trust me, most of this stuff tastes as good or better than it looks. So you're missing out. But if you like to cook, you can, check out the posts on Instagram. You may or may not be able to see the recipe in the pictures, but if you're curious or want to know more about them, just leave a comment and we'd be happy to help you out.
Exactly. Anything else, Kevin, you want to add about this week?
So this week there was some news that Apple was discontinuing the iPod.
Really? No.
Which I thought that was interesting and like kind of shocking. I mean, unless I'm not really that surprised, but I like remember when iPods first came out,
I know.
and I had like a first generation one, which I think I still have somewhere. I need to
Yes,
find
you
it
do.
now.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's like super old and bulky and completely obsolete nowadays. So it makes sense that they're discontinuing them, but it's just like they were such like a staple of like, the early mid 2000s, right? Like when they were newer and everybody had one, or like almost everybody had one. That's how everybody was listening to music. Before that was just like our CD players
or a cassette. I don't know if anyone here uses a cassette, where you have to like use the pencil and put it in.
It depends on how old you are, like maybe from the cassette days, or really I remember having like this little blue CD player. I had my like binder of CDs, and that was all before iPods, and iPods just was a huge leap from CDs, obviously,
or cassettes
being digital. Yeah, and iPods were just so big for quite a while, really, until everyone started getting smartphones and iPhones and Androids, and then that kind of took on the role of how you play music. So yeah, it makes sense that they're discontinuing them, but I don't know. It's like I feel like they were such a big part of like the culture of my childhood, like my later childhood.
Yep.
I had the CD player era as well,
or the cassette. You can obviously tell that I'm older than Kevin because
only
I'm
a
from
few
the
years,
cassette.
So I guess it was an important few years, I guess, in music. But yeah, hearing the news with the whole iPod thing made me feel a little bit older.
I know.
I guess that the iPods were around for 20 years or so.
Yeah.
So a good long run. But yeah, that news this week just kind of hit home for me.
Gotcha.
But as far as what else happened this week, we kind of had a big moment here in our household with our 3-year-old son. So we had been talking about this for a while now, as far as how to introduce him to gaming and when to do that and where and what and how and all this stuff, right? Yeah. We're kind of thinking of what's the easiest thing for him to learn how to do.
Didn't we like talk about this like in I don't know how many episodes back about the games we want to introduce to our kids, right?
We did, and I feel like we made a pretty good decision that we landed on, which was breaking out the Nintendo Wii from the very deepest corner of the closet that's been tucked away for so long in a box.
Yep.
And surprisingly, it still works. So it took me a while to figure out like how to set everything back up again with the hooking it up and getting the remotes and everything working, but finally got that all figured out. And then
how old were you when you played that? I mean, like looking at the characters in there, I mean, it has the characters still saved in there and whatever you used before, you and your dad did before. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when the Wii was out. I mean, probably like when I was in high school or something.
I think middle school. No? Was it high school?
No, I think it was after that. I don't think we got a Wii when they were brand new either. I think it was pretty far into that generation. But
well, even if it's in high school, that's more than 10 years ago.
But yeah, just compared to current generation consoles, the Wii just felt pretty old. But
it is.
Really, so does anything from that long ago. But anyways, they just kind of like something that I remember doing when I was younger.
With your dad?
Not our son's age, of course.
Yeah.
But I remember like those games on, like the Wii Sports were always pretty simple to do, like not too difficult.
Yep.
Very forgiving. And, also it's like it gets you moving. It's not like he's just sitting there on the couch looking at a screen, like he's having to swing his arms around and stuff. So we just have to make sure his 1-year-old sister's not standing right around him, or else she might get hit. I can see that happening. It hasn't happened yet, knock on wood, but that's something we gotta watch out for.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was all today. We got him set up on the Wii, and I think his favorite was the bowling.
I know, he was so good at it.
That's kind of how we were testing it out and making sure like the remotes and everything were working. I kind of jumped in there, threw the ball a few times, got a few spares in a row. I still got it. Then we handed it off to our 3-year-old, and then I think within like 2 or 3 frames, he got a spare himself. So
Yeah, he got a lot of spares. I'm shocked.
He made his daddy proud for sure.
That is for sure. Me too.
I have a lot of things to be proud of him for, and this just added one more thing to the list.
I know, and be sure to check out his gaming reel on Instagram. It would be.
Does he have a gaming reel?
No, I mean from the Wii today.
Oh, okay, I don't think I've seen that yet, so yeah. I need to check that out.
I thought it would be cool to put a reel on that.
That is cool. It's cute. It was an awesome moment. It was a
Gamer parent proud moment.
Yeah, I mean, it was a kid pretty much playing a video game for the first time, and he would like throw the ball, and it would like I'm not sure what you captured in the reel, but he would throw the bowling ball, and it would as it's very slowly rolling down towards the pins, he's kind of just standing there, and as soon as it hits and knocks a bunch of the pins down, he like gets all excited and waves his arms around and stuff. So it was really awesome to see and to watch, and to kind of get to see our son experiencing that joy of gaming.
That is true.
What else did he do besides the bowling? He did
he liked the frisbee because he was playing with a dog, which I could foresee in the future that we'll probably get one ourselves.
Little animated dog. I mean, we could get a frisbee tomorrow if you wanted.
I meant the dog.
Oh, okay.
In the future, not now.
Yeah, he also did the skydiving, Wii skydiving. That's a little bit of that. That one, you can't really lose. Like, you're just skydiving and you try and like connect with other people and make circles, and then you pull the parachute and then that's it. So like, yeah, it's like you win or you win, I feel like, in some of these games. And some of the bowling ones, like, they make it really hard to fail. So I think it's good that he'll get some fun out of that stuff too, like, even though he has no idea how to play.
Yeah, I just think that he's just excited to be entrusted with a console and be playing his game with our supervision and stuff. So he just likes that, being in control sometimes with the games.
Yeah, so I think that's something that we'll let him get into every once in a while. I think that's definitely safe. Keeps him at least being a little bit mobile, and we know that there's not going to be anything bad that comes out of that as far as like the content and everything. It's very clean.
Yep.
So I feel good that that's like a first step that we kind of have for him.
Yes.
Until he gets older and into something different, and his hand-eye coordination, everything is better, and he can get into other games and maybe some of the stuff that we're doing.
I agree. Yep.
Maybe he'll hop into Grounded with me and take on some bugs, or maybe he'll get into Lost Ark with you and level up.
Lost Ark is probably gonna be much later.
Yeah, it's a bit more complicated.
So that's about it for our week.
Yeah, I don't think we really had a whole lot of other stuff. I feel like that was quite a bit already.
Oh, just one more thing. I just remembered. On Lost Ark, guess who achieved Tier 3?
Tier 3? I thought you were still like Tier 1 last week.
I know. So within this 1 week, I went up from Tier 1 to Tier 2 to Tier 3.
And just so people know, like, what do the different tiers mean? Like, how many tiers are there? Is it a big difference between Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3? Like, what's the difference?
Well, you just put me on the spot there. I just know that the item levels are way different.
So, like, it unlocks new stuff for you to do or something?
Mm-hmm. And a lot of, like, the end game rates are, like, during Tier 3 is when the real thing begins, in my opinion, at least. But
okay, so you're, like, locked out of being able to do certain things or raids until you hit a certain tier.
Yes.
And then now that you're at that tier, you can do those things that you couldn't do before.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Basically, my item level now is 1100, and I just yesterday finished one of the last locations for the 1100, and now I could actually do more stuff to go up to like 1300. My next goal is to get item level 1300 and do more fun stuff. So a lot of leveling left to do because it gets slower as you go,
Gotcha. Huh. Yeah, I mean, here you are. I think you hit the max level, but it keeps going and going and going, huh?
Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to carry you around when you finally rejoin Lost Ark.
Yeah, I think I was like item level 200 or something when I stopped playing, but
Mm-hmm.
that was a long time ago, and you have skyrocketed way past me.
Yeah.
All right, well, shall we jump into talking about Embr here?
Yes,
the game
please.
that everybody is waiting for.
The game that we only stream for 30 minutes.
Yes, and you did attempt to play it one more time after the stream, and it still made you feel a little queasy, right?
Yes, it did.
So Joanne didn't get a whole lot of time in playing this one for obvious reasons, but to put that shortly, this game makes her sick.
Makes me sing, not everyone else probably.
Yeah, I didn't experience the same thing. So, I mean, I did put a little bit more time into it than she did, progressed a little bit further, but, we'll go ahead and talk about at least what we thought about it for that little bit of time that we played it. But anyways, just to kind of give the quick summary of the game, it is on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. Like all the other games we've been playing.
Yeah, like most of the games we've been playing. So if you have Game Pass, you can check it out there if you like. But yeah, it's called Embr, Embr. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool.
I think because Embr is like fire.
Yeah, so it's like you might kind of have
Get
this
an
idea
idea.
already, but basically you play as firefighters, and
we're all ladies.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that yet, but yeah, you're like, and I think you can change that.
Yeah,
probably.
you can change it like later in the game, I'm sure, as you level up or something.
But yeah, you start off as this older lady who I guess is a firefighter, and each level you like appear on scene, and there's a building there on fire, and you have like a water gun. I mean, it looks like a water gun, but it sprays like a fire hose. I don't really know how that works.
Oh yeah, you're right. I never even noticed that.
It's like a little. I mean, it looks like a squirt gun or something, but like you can put out this house fire with it. So
I know.
I don't know, futuristic technology or something. I don't know right there, but anyways, so yeah, you have this water gun, and then you get like a fire axe to like break down doors. And
you get a
what
ladder.
else? Yeah, you get a ladder
To climb up.
That's the main stuff that you start with, at least, right? I mean, I know you can buy stuff later to use, which we'll talk about. But anyway, that's stuff that you kind of get at your disposal. And your job is to go in and rescue the people that are stuck in the building. And kind of at the same time, you're trying to like help put out the fire. Like you don't put out the fire completely, but like you're trying to stop it from spreading, or at least try to clear a path like through the house or wherever you need to go. I guess not necessarily a house every time, but some kind of building, and you're trying to clear a path to the like civilians or people that you're trying to save to get them out of the fire. And yeah, that's kind of like how you beat it. You just need to save people. There's also like piles of money in the buildings that you can also get, and you can save the money from being burned.
Save the money. And most of the time I noticed Kevin would go and find the money before the people.
Okay, that was like on accident most time. Like I'd go in, and like the first room I get to, there's like a fat stack of cash sitting there. So I'm like, all right, I'll just take this. And to be clear, it doesn't give you that money. Like it gives you, like you're saving the homeowners or the whosever money it is.
Yeah.
It's for them. Like not like I'm.
But they pay you
or
more,
it.
I guess.
But you get like more points, like for saving their possessions or their valuables.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm just stealing it from them or something like that. But anyways, I try to get that stuff out, and then obviously trying to get the people out of the fires too. So that's kind of what you're trying to do most levels.
And in the beginning they have a tutorial. You have to do the tutorial before you could even like do a multiplayer.
But to be fair, the tutorial's pretty short.
Yeah, but
because like as we just described it, like that's kind of it. You're running around trying to put out the fires.
Well, there are
breaking
other
down
stuff,
doors,
like
and you're rescuing
electricity,
people.
turning off the switches.
Yeah, there can be light switches that basically like electricity flow through. So like sometimes like if there's water on the floor or something, like you'll be electrocuted if you step on it. So you have to like turn off a light switch so you can go in there.
Or if like a room has a lot of like
green gas,
or
which I have no idea what the green gas is or
gas.
why it's there. It's just some kind of green, dangerous, toxic gas.
Yeah.
And if you open a window, then the air will go through and it'll like disperse the gas.
Well, you can't open a window in this case. You have to break the window with your axe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. You bust the window open with your axe, or there's also apparently some fans that'll blow it away too. But I don't know. So there's some like minor things like that to look out for too in the game. But for the most part, go through, fight the fires, rescue people, and advance through the levels.
And then you have to go to the safe zone after.
Yeah, that's just how you finish the game or the match. But
I figured out what actually caused me to get like the sickness, the motion sickness, or I don't know what, just sensory overload.
So go ahead and explain that.
I think it's because like in the beginning I was pretty okay because it was mostly like a single story building and stuff, and then it becomes more stressful with like double story and like apartment buildings where you have to like constantly look for the fire escape ladders or just figure a way how to climb up, and just looking upwards a lot and going through like corridors and I don't know, fire escape and stuff like that. It's just like too much for me to handle. It's like, okay, the fire's here, and then I have to figure out where the door is and where I don't know, it just gave me a whole new perspective of being a fireman. It's probably hard because you don't even know where the fire starts from or where everyone else is, the victims are. So it's just kind of more stressful, like Overcooked, but not as fun. More like just looking up and down a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you do get a device that like shows you where the people are that need to be rescued.
Yeah.
But other than that, like they don't like shout. I don't like ever hear them like shouting for help.
Nope.
Or
they're in the toilet.
Like, they don't try to escape themselves at all.
Yeah.
Like usually a lot of times you'll find them like just sitting on the toilet, like, or they'll just be like standing there on their phones, which I think it's kind of funny that the developers put that in there. Like half of the time they're just like sitting there on their phones while the building they're in is burning down, and you have to literally carry them out of there. So I think it was kind of, I figure that's like some kind of humor that they were trying to put in there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the game, like kind of to what you were saying. Between the fire is a little bit hard on your eyes, just probably because the brightness and it's moving around a lot, plus like your character is moving around a lot and moving kind of fast. And everything, you obviously, any kind of situation where there's a fire, time is of the essence. So like you're obviously going to be rushed too.
Yeah.
And there's times where like at the very beginning there's not much fire, and like usually it's not even like in every room of the house yet.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of run through one room at the beginning and be like, okay, here I can go upstairs and go into all these different rooms and stuff, and I'll rescue some people. And then like later on in the same game, like I'll go back through that like first room again, and it'll be like completely on fire, and I'll be like, whoa, like this is way different than it was a minute or two ago, like when it was perfectly fine. And then now it's like a blazing inferno.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a map either, right?
No, but I don't think you really need a map, because like every level that you like load into, it's pretty much just one building.
I know, but remember the apartment building that we had to do last night? That was stressful. I didn't know what floor I was on, and then some of the windows have like grills on it, and you can't enter, and then you have to.
I think that's part of the fun. I think for me though was like each building was designed, felt like completely differently, and then you had to like kind of memorize like, okay, I went this way already, and then when you go back the next time, like, okay, I haven't gone this way, so I'll go that way instead. And once you find somebody to rescue, you have to carry them back out, and then you're going back in.
Like never ending.
Yeah, it's just kind of like back and forth, trying to remember like which areas you've already explored and which ones you haven't, and then at the same time trying to keep that fire from just engulfing everything.
I don't know if it was on the stream, but remember I killed one of the victims I saved because I
remember like you talking about that, but I didn't see it, so maybe I have to go back on the stream and see that happening, because I don't get what happened.
So I didn't want to run back to the safe zone and drop my victim. I thought I could throw the victim like
you
from
throw them
the
in
house.
The fire?
No, from the house, throw it towards the safe zone. But obviously
this is a human being, Joanne. It's not a football.
I know, my bad.
So wait, were you on like the second story or something?
Yeah.
You tossed somebody off the second story.
Yeah. Well, the safe zone was right down there, and I threw the person down thinking he would land on the safe zone, but my aim was bad as always, and the person like just missed the safe zone by maybe a foot, and then he became what do you call
Or
it?
like a skeleton right away. Okay. So that's
I was
what
like,
happened.
oops.
I have to go back and watch that because that's funnier now that you told the story. I just remember you saying, "Oh, you accidentally killed somebody," but not how.
And then another time I wanted to like smash down the door with the axe, and then someone was standing at like just right behind that door, and I accidentally hit him with the axe, so he got knocked out too. But thankfully he wasn't dead. He was just unconscious.
Yeah, thankfully you didn't murder somebody at the same time when you were supposed to be saving them.
I know, right? I'm giving them a painless death.
Yeah. Anyways, I think this game has an opportunity for a lot of moments like that, like where if you're playing it with friends and it can get kind of hectic and you do funny, stupid, silly stuff just to kind of laugh about, kind of just like we were just doing. So I think there's plenty of that kind of stuff that's going to happen in this game if you're, trying it out with either your spouse or friends for the first time. Although there's not a whole lot to it. There's some other stuff, like you can buy a trampoline to use so that if you do chuck a human being off from the second story and they at least land on the trampoline, then they won't die. Or you yourself, if you're going to jump off a balcony, then you can jump on the trampoline and get down to the bottom floor a lot faster. So,
Yep.
And then there's obviously the ladder that you could use to go up and down different stories. So, but yeah, there's not really a lot of other stuff. I did end up buying another weapon besides the water gun that shot giant ice cubes.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, so you didn't. I don't think you got that yet, or you didn't spend the money on that. But
No, but I mean, I saw you shoot ice cubes, and I don't know what they're for.
yeah, so like instead of using water to put out the fire, it'd be like an ice cube, which would like immediately put out all the fire around the ice cube, and then like I think it like slowly melts and it stops the fire from like coming back to that area. So it was just a different way to like combat the fire some. Which
Interesting.
it was kind of cool. And then you could upgrade the weapon different ways to like give you more ammo or shoot faster or be more efficient or effective or different things. So it was like upgrade the weapons that you get to. I didn't really see many other weapons like besides those. There's like a fire extinguisher too, which I didn't get to. But at least between the ice cube shooter and the water gun, they were at least quite a bit different, and I could like use both of them. So that was kind of cool. Like how it was more than just the water hose. So
That is true.
yeah, but shall we go ahead and get into our ratings?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a game I would play more than once, but not for too long.
Yeah, not for more than 30 minutes without getting sick. So.
Yeah.
So the first category of convenience, Joanne, what do you think about the convenience of Embr?
Let's see. I would give it a convenience of 5 on average, because I don't think it's that short of a time to finish one
match or game.
Yeah, one game or something, because I mean the time given for the fire to completely burn the house down, the building down, is pretty long. I think it gets shorter as you progress in the game, because I noticed like the building seems to fall on us faster and faster, or the fire seems to spread faster as we progress through that 30 minutes. So I would give it a 5, because it's not something that you could like just leave your person there without getting penalized. I mean, you'll just get less points, less money, or worse still is like you can't save everyone in the building. So
yeah, okay. I myself, for convenience, am giving Embr a 7, and that's more so because the matches feel pretty short.
Really?
I know it
maybe it felt long to me because I was like battling.
Maybe. I mean, it couldn't be like any more than like 5 minutes for each level. Like maybe sometimes even less. Because I mean, like it moves through pretty quick. Like usually we just have to rescue like 4 or 5 people, and depending on how long it takes us to find each of those, it's usually fairly quick. So, I
No,
mean, these aren't
yeah.
like 30-minute or hour-long matches
No,
where like
but
we can't pause and we can't step away without feeling penalized. So, I think worst case, like sometimes we just didn't do very well and we lost the match in like a minute or two, and so like we would just restart and kind of back at it. So
I guess you're right.
I feel like it's more convenient than I think most games, but yeah, like I don't think we could pause it. We never tried.
No, I don't think we could.
But I do notice like if I like was just sitting there like kind of hesitating at the beginning of the match, like the fire was still spreading.
Yeah.
So I would like make sure like as soon as the game started, I would kind of jump into trying to save people. So
And like I said, like even when we played it for 15 minutes, the last time we played it, it felt like an hour to me. So maybe that's why I thought it was longer.
Yeah. So I think on convenience, it does pretty well. What about on communication, Joanne? What do you think for the communication?
I actually think that communication is essential. I mean, I found it really helpful. Maybe it's not like fully necessary, but I think it's helpful to locate all the people that we have to save,
Mm-hmm.
Like I could tell you I'm going up, and then or if we're heading the same way, I'm like, you go left, I go right. I just feel like there's more to talk about for other couples playing this game. Some couples who don't get sick playing this game might really enjoy it and bond with each other over it. So I would give it, have I given it a rating? No,
I don't think so.
I'll give it a 7.
7. Okay. On communication, I am giving it a 6, so not too far off from you. And I think kind of like what you said, except probably lowering it a little bit. Some communication is definitely helpful because, right, like most of these buildings are like multi-stories, and
towards the end,
it makes sense for us to kind of cover different areas to make sure we're kind of covering more ground. True. And so, like, when we go into a building, I might say, "Oh, I'll run upstairs. You do the downstairs."
Yeah. Oh, remember, like there was like 2 people standing there, and then I grabbed one and I tell you, "There's one more in there. Go get him." And
yeah, so like helped. Calling out like because you can only carry one person at a time. So like calling out if you see more than one, so then your partner knows to like go back there and get someone too. Then that's kind of stuff is helpful, or really just directing each other like where they may need to go based on where you are and where you've been, and then the other side of that is if you take too much damage from the fire, because if you stand in the fire, you will die.
Yeah, that's
something
true.
we have learned many times from our time playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Right, Joanne?
Yes, I know.
I'm looking at you with that one. No, I'm just kidding. She knows that very well by now.
But I still do it.
But this game, it's hard not to when the entire room is in flames. And yeah, you can take damage if you're too close to the fire. And if you lose all of your health, you will be downed. Kind of looks like something from Warzone. But so then you are stuck there on the ground and your teammate needs to come get you back up. So if that happens, you need to call for help. Your teammate needs to come find you. So you need to be able to, 1, tell them when you're downed, because I didn't notice I didn't see like an indicator. I think there's like a beach bubble that comes up, says, what does it say again?
Help.
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think is alluding to a commercial, which I forget the exact name.
Really? I thought it sounds more like Grounded.
No, I'll show you later. I'll find it and I'll figure it out. But
okay.
But yeah, I think it's a reference to the firefighters or the characters that we are being older, which I'll show you later. But yeah, so I think it's kind of subtle. You have to look for that, I guess. Maybe we just weren't really looking for that. But anyways, you'll want to communicate to your teammates if that happens to you, and then obviously let your teammates know where you are. First floor, second floor, third floor, so they can get to you a little bit easier to get you back up. So best way to communicate and to kind of push the levels of teamwork in the game. But those are kind of the main things that you really even need to communicate on. Not a ton. So, I mean, and the communication is definitely helpful, not 100% required, like it would be like an Overcooked,
but I mean,
for example.
If a gamer couple plays it, it would be good, right?
Yeah, it's fun and it's good. Yeah, I mean, you'll definitely want to communicate, which is why it still gets above average score. So I gave it a 6.
Okay.
Now on to the story. What did you think about that?
I don't know if there's a story. I mean, it's pretty much the same kind of. I mean, remember Overcooked, how like we cook and then we get through a level, right? Based on the requirements of the menu. It's the same thing. It's like there's requirements from the client. You need to save at least how many people, save how much money, and stuff like that. But the difference is at least the Overcooked like puts effort in the king and the zombie bread.
Yeah, I think there was
This one didn't really have any.
one of the first levels that they have you go through where you have to escape, and then I think you were not feeling very good at this point. I think that was towards the end.
Yeah.
And there was like a different firefighting crew, like from Canada, I want to say,
Yeah.
that like kidnapped you and is trying to make you escape this like fire. Like, so I think there's like some story in that.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. I
Or
totally
at least
forgot
in that
about that.
level. We didn't really get too far just because we didn't get to play the game that much. But so like that felt like there was some story, but for the most part, yeah, there's not really any story besides you're a firefighter and you're trying to save people.
But
that's kind of
after
it.
that, I mean, we did try playing after that. Remember yesterday we played again, but it didn't go back to that story. It just move on. It's
Yeah,
just
I
that
think
one.
like maybe there was
match.
more levels. I mean, there's still a lot of levels that we haven't done yet. So
That's true.
I'm sure there's more stuff in there, but at least for what we did get through, that's like the only part where I felt like there was a little bit of story.
Okay, I'm giving it a 2 out of 10.
Okay, that makes sense based on what we were just saying. I'm giving it a 3. So right there with you.
Okay.
How about
Thanks.
on repeatability? What do you got?
I actually think it is pretty repeatable. For the sake of having a bonding time with you, I would play this game with you over again, but not like let's just say if we want to like spend 15 minutes gaming together before I jump into Lost Ark or before you jump into Grounded or something. This would be one of the games that I would play with you again, just like for 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, because anything after 15 minutes.
Not for
Not
this
so
game,
good.
yeah. Or if I just feel like I want to go to bed early, I would play this game with you.
It's like drinking wine or something.
Exactly. It just like gets me drunk and I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to pass out now.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I would give this repeatability like a 6.
A 6. Okay. All right, that's cool.
Not as high as Among Us or Overcooked, but
I kind of see this game being fun for like the first time for somebody for a little bit, and you know, if that's your spouse, introducing them to this just to kind of be there and experience like the first hour or so of gameplay, because I think there's a lot of fun moments in there. Like once you kind of get things down, I think it becomes less entertaining, less
I don't
fun.
know. Maybe you have better weapons and better armor. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think like the fun part of this game to me was like, you know, you accidentally killing a survivor, or you know, like us messing up and that kind of stuff was kind of the more like funny things that were happening, and not so much like that, which kind of like started to die down as we figured out, you know, at least how to beat the levels. And then that, along with there's not really a whole lot of stuff in the game yet. I know we didn't get through all the levels, but at least looking through the shop, and there's a few different things you can buy and upgrade them, but I didn't feel like it's a game that I could play
Really?
over and over and over again without getting bored really quickly.
Okay, so what's your repeatability
So
for this game?
I put down a 3 for repeatability.
Fair enough.
And last category is the fun factor.
Giving
What'd you
it
put
a
for that?
1? No, I'm giving it a 2.
A 2 on fun. Okay.
Well, because it's only fun for 15 minutes for me, so you know, I gotta.
This is like the $3 chuck of video games.
Yeah.
Okay. A 2 for you on fun. Any additional info on that one?
Well, just agreeing with what you said earlier about how you'll get bored of it soon, but just because you game longer than I do, I mean, like when you play a game, you normally game like 1-2 hours, and I can't do that for this game, so it would seem more fun to me and more repeatable to me, right?
Okay. I think I kind of understand. Since you're doing it like in such low doses, you
Yeah, so I could handle it just
could
like
longer.
so it's not too boring that I would give it a 1, but it's okay that I would.
Oh, it's not boring enough to get a 1 out of 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
but not fun enough that I could be playing it for more than 15 minutes. So 2.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10 for fun. So not very far off from you at all. Yeah. I just kind of feel like it's not going to be a game that I really hold in high regard or, really look back to and be like, oh, that was a really fun game, at the end of this year. So just kind of be one that we'll have on our list, kind of another notch in our belt, I guess. But yeah, so that's it for the ratings for this one. I think my total was 22.
What? Really? Mine was 22 too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm adding up yours now just in case. Okay, yours was 22 also, but we varied a little bit. I mean, we weren't the same on anything.
We weren't.
We were close on a lot of stuff. But yeah, we weren't the same on anything.
That's
weird.
how we complement one another.
That seems to happen on a lot of these. Like, I think there's been 1 or 2 games where our ratings were really similar, but a lot of them, like, we were way different on, I don't know, convenience or story or something, and we still come out to be, like, the same total.
You're the yin to my yang.
Yeah, right? Yep. So 22. That's a low score.
It is. I think that's by far the lowest. Let me check.
Which I'm not really that surprised, but I feel bad because I don't want to hurt the game's feelings or anyone who likes the game or had anything to do with making the game. Well, I like the idea. I think it has a lot of potential.
Oh, guess what? We had Back 4 Blood. That was also 22 on average. Yeah. So
I think that was you bringing the average down, though.
Yeah,
I think I liked Back 4 Blood.
I think you like that
a lot
but
more.
This is the first time that both of us had 22.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
I think it's probably my lowest rating score. Speaking of Back 4 Blood, that sounds fun. I want to go back to that.
Not for me either. For the same reasons. Oh my gosh, wasn't it also sensory overload for me with all the flashing lights and stuff?
It's one of those games that were really intense, and so is this one, to be fair, right? So I think it's those kind of games where every millisecond is important because you're either in one case fighting hordes of zombies or in this case fighting a raging fire. So
get more sensory overload before bed. It's oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah, it's hard because we're usually doing this at the very end of the day after the kids are asleep. We're tired. We don't have much energy left or mental capacity in us left to deal with those intense scenarios. And for the most part, sometimes we just kind of want to chill.
Actually, you deal with those scenarios better than I do. For me, it's back then in my college years, I could handle all these games, and then right now it's just okay, after a full day of cooking, cleaning, and caring for the kids, it's I'm just ready to play a chill game, like a MMORPG game where you just collect achievements and stuff like that, or fight.
Go find your Makoko seeds.
I know. Or, I mean, even doing raids in Lost Ark or Chaos Dungeon in Lost Ark was okay for me, but it's not that stressful, you know what I mean? This is different, so all that sensory overload is just not good for our mental capacity that is already so little at night.
Yeah, maybe we need to do something more relaxing after these high intense games, I don't know, Lost Ark or Hearthstone.
Oh yeah, Hearthstone is pretty relaxing.
Hearthstone's really, I like that. That's I just relax and just chill and hang out.
Play in bed.
Because it's low stakes, it's low pace. It's I don't have to pay complete attention to it in order to do well. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up our review of Embr, and also wraps up episode number 17.
We're so close to 20. That's another milestone.
We're gonna have to celebrate. We'll have to go out, have a glass of wine or something.
Yeah, date night time.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.